Hey guys, how's it going? Collections here, and today we're looking at another action figure review. Today we're looking at the Mafex knockoff Justice League Batman. This is a tactical suit version, and as you can see, the packaging is absolutely trashed. So this is how it came in the mail. So yeah, it doesn't even stand up, so it's pretty trash. But yeah, I just wanted to show you the packaging as well. This came from AliExpress. So yeah, let's take a look. So here we have Batman out of the packaging, and I just gotta tell you, like, this is a pretty decent KO figure. Like, this isn't the best that I've seen. Like, the Mes KO ones are pretty much, like, I think a little bit better than this. But I think this is still, like, an absolutely awesome figure. I don't know, it cost me around 20 bucks Australian. So it's not that much, but it just really, I think for the price, there's a lot of stuff that comes with the packaging, and it's kind of worth it. So you get a lot of hands, you get a lot of accessories, you get 3 head sculpts. The suit is decent. There's a whole lot of articulation going on, and it does have the same flaws a Mezco would typically have, where, you know, the body can shoot one direction and then the upper body is, leaning towards some other direction, and the head then again is tilted in another direction, and it kind of looks jarring. But I think still overall there's a lot of details there. The sculpt is there. I mean, it's a copied sculpt. I mean, yeah, they're just copying what Mafex did and then just, you know, porting that over to this KO figure. But then I still think that this figure does the job pretty well. So I'm pretty impressed. So let's get a look at the details. So in terms of looking at a close-up of this figure I think still looks pretty decent. Like, look at the face sculpt. Like, there's definitely a little bit of Ben Affleck there, although the face is a little bit crooked. In terms of the looks like the faceplate is a little bit shifted towards the left of us, so the right of the figure. So, but then it still has plenty of details going on still. The head has details, the glasses are there. There's plenty of sculpting going on, but it's just a copy of the Mafex sculpt anyway. So, you know, like, the sculpt is good because Mafex did a really good job there. But still, yeah, there's a lot of armor piece details. The coloring is pretty good. I mean, the painting on it is pretty good. The cape probably isn't the best. It's like a kind of cheapy material, but there's still it's got the wires in there, so it's, you know, it can hold poses and stuff, which is pretty cool. It's a lot of details everywhere. Like, I'm seriously very impressed with this figure. Like, there's a lot of details. The sculpt work on the trunks, or the trunks area. The belt looks pretty good. There's a lot of gold paint going on here and there. The armor is going on all the way to the back. There's paint on the back as well. The elbow pads look cool. The gauntlets look pretty awesome. Yeah, there's gold knuckles, everything. The thigh pads are there as well. The leg looks a little bit like turned inwards for some reason. This one here, I don't think the boot is a separate piece to be able to turn it out, but it's turned inwards a little bit. So when he's like just there, you can see that, right? It's just turned inwards. So yeah, that's probably the only gripe I have of this figure so far, but it's actually done pretty well, so I'm pretty impressed. Alright, let's get into the articulation for this figure. So the head, sorry, I'll just focus in. So the head can do pretty much most things that you'd want a figure to do. It can look up that much, look down that much. Well, it popped off, so that's what's connecting the figure to the body. So it doesn't really pop off too easily, but yeah, I think I just pushed it a little bit too much. But it plugs in pretty easily if I can get it. There you go, that plugged in already. So you can look up that much, look down that much. The neck has a ball joint underneath, but you can't really activate it unless you're, you know, breaking the figure's neck off like I did before. In terms of the arms, they can go up. Oh, that's a pretty decent amount. They can go up that much. But the plastic is a little bit flimsy, so it's not as sturdy as a Mafex would be, but, you know, that's kind of expected. So they can go up that much. The biceps can swivel, so they can go 360 if you want. There's double hinge at the elbows, and they go in pretty well. And they can also, you know, you've got like a ball at the wrist there, so you can do pretty much everything you want a ball peg to do. And the arms can also rotate all the way around. So in terms of the torso, there's a lot of articulation there, and, you know, that's pretty cool. Like, you can basically go wherever you want with it. So you can get a lot of articulation from the top torso bit. You can crunch forward that much, you can crunch back that much, which is, it's kind of gapey, but yeah, you can still get that done. The lower ab is in a ball kind of joint as well, so you can twist it around, pivot, everything. It just gets really difficult to align, like once you start moving it. But I think the original Mafex had that problem a little bit as well. The legs are, I think, a little bit disappointing, especially with the leg here, which is turned inwards. But yeah, so in terms of the leg, yeah, I got him in a weird pose now, but oh well, we'll ignore that for now. In terms of the legs, they can kick out. They're a little bit, oh, the leg came off, but they're just balls, and they can go, well, the leg can't kick out that much, probably because of the piece there, but yeah, that's pretty sad. What about the other one? Well, the other one also came off, so they can't really kick out much, probably because it's a KO, but they can kick forward a bunch. There's no drop hinge, but they can kick forward that much. They can kick back not that much because of the sculpted butt piece. Double hinge at the knees, which is, it's pretty decent. It's pretty crunchy, so it's cool. No, there's a little bit of a thigh swivel. There is nothing else, like no boot section, nothing like that. The feet can go up, down, all the way around, so there's plenty of articulation in terms of if you want rockers and all of that, that's there. And you got toe pivot as well, so yeah, pretty decent range of motion for this figure. So to kick things off with the accessories bit, we'll kick it off with the stand. So it's a pretty basic looking stand that plugs in. So the stand itself plugs into the clip, the holder. So, oh sorry, so it can just, yeah, it's pretty tight. It's a nifty fit. It gets, you know, it's got lots of posability as well, so the stand could pretty much do whatever you want it to do. In terms of the height might be a little bit lacking, but it's not as big as a Mafex Mezco stand, but it still gets the job done. There's a few bubbles you can see in there, so that's just imperfections when casting the stand, but then I'd imagine the authentic version wouldn't have that. The joints are a bit loose, but you can always tighten them up. You've got screw holes that you can just, you know, put a screw in and then tighten them up. You can also put the stand on its base, so that's what the base looks like. You can basically plug it in. Again, I'm doing this through the viewfinder, so that kind of is difficult, but yeah, you can plug it in and that's what it looks like. So yeah, the stand can pretty much get into different poses, and then you can put Batman on it and then get different poses out of that as well. So it's a pretty decent stand. It's a basic stand. You also do get 2 additional head sculpts with Batman. So the first one is where he's got his goggles up, so you can actually see his eyes. The eyes are painted pretty well, and this face is probably the one that I'm going to use on the figure, just because the jaw isn't like skewed. But let's look at the other face. This is more of a grinning kind of face. He's got his teeth showing, but this again is a little bit skewed in terms of the jaw is displaced a little bit, and there's a little bit of paint slop at the eye over there as well. So yeah, well, it's a decent enough head sculpt though. For the price that I paid for it, I think it's still definitely worth it. But yeah, all right, so this figure comes with a ton of hands. Absolutely, you've got hands that you'd be able to use for anything that you want. Like, it's just so many hands. So Batman comes with 2 fist hands already on the body. Other than that, he comes with 2 gripping hands that you could probably use to grip some of his accessories. So that's what they look like. They're all painted well. It's just black plastic, and then you get gold on top, like just on the knucks and stuff. So that's that. You get the more thumb, like, yeah, the thumbs are a bit more, you know, pointing out. I think that's probably one of the maybe the grapnel gun or the other one, so you can use those for that. You also have 2 kind of open-ish hands that are reaching out, so that's what that looks like. And they're all painted the same, so that's what they look like. That's pretty cool as well. There's so many hands. You get 2 trigger hands for the left and the right, so that's what that looks like. You also get 2 grenade gripping hands, I think, because they're more fisty. I think the batarang holding hands, you could probably put batarangs in there, so that's what that looks like to me. And you get more relaxed kind of hands that probably hold on to, I think this is the grapnel holding hand. So yeah, there's a lot of hands. So yeah, you probably not know what to do with them, but there are a lot of hands here. So next we have the grapnel launcher, and I don't know what that is. That looks more Arkham-y. I'm not sure if Ben Affleck used this in the movie, but they are both like grapnel kind of launchers where you've got the tips here that will shoot out at the launchers. I'm not sure what that is, to be honest, but that's definitely the grapnel launcher that Batman uses to just, you know, like get into elevated places and areas like that. Also, you get a spare piece, or I don't know what that is. It's just a additional tip that you can use. I'm not sure what you would use it for, but you know, you still have the option to if you want to. So a lot of accessories. Let's just see how they look like in terms of painting and all that. So let's look at this first. Yeah, the sculpt is a little bit muted because it's probably a resculpt, but you know, it's like a recast. But yeah, there's a little bit of painting there. I mean, it's not the best kind of painting, but it's still there. And with the grapnel booster, that kind of does look a little bit better. You get like the a little bit brown there. It's not that much. It's not that clear. You get a lot of details in the actual gun itself, but that's probably because they recast it from Mafex, and Mafex does have a lot of details. And the painting's all right on it. So yeah, that's what that looks like. Alright, so this is the last bit of the accessories. Let's first look at the kryptonite shooting gun that he used in the BVS movie. So he would put like a cartridge in there, or like a, what do you call it, a shell in there, and then he'd shoot it out. And then that's what caused Superman to lose all his powers because of the exposure to kryptonite gas. So I think that's the gun there. So that's what it looks like. It's pretty cool. It's got a lot of details, but it's not really painted. I think it's just cast in that kind of color. And then that's what you're seeing there. But yeah, it gets the job done. You get not one but three batarangs. All three batarangs are the same, and that's what the batarangs look like. So there's plenty of details there. It's just a recast again. So Mafex put a lot of details there. That's why you're seeing a lot of details on this as well. You also get like a smoke grenade. I think that's a smoke grenade. It looks like a smoke grenade. So Batman would use that just to, you know, create escape situations or create more confusion and then start attacking. If you play the Arkham games, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's what that is. And I'm not sure what these are. Maybe they're like more damaging kind of grenades. But yeah, you get two of these. Oh, that's a pretty good catch. You get two of these that are just independent. And you also get one grenade that's on this stand pose. So it basically means that, let me just see if I can get the stand. You can plug it into the stand here, and you get like a floating piece if you want to pose it or take pictures of it or something like that maybe. Height comparison wise, here we have the Mafex authentic version armored Batman on the left, which towers over the fake Mafex tactical suit Batman, and on the right we've got the tactical suit Batman from Mezco, which is a lot better quality obviously, and you know, he's a lot more girthy as well, and even bigger than the Mafex armored Batman. So I think just different scales, but yeah. Next up, we've got the authentic version Mafex Flash on the left. He is a die-cast figure, so it's a bit heavier, but a lot of silver paints going on, so that looks pretty cool. And on the right we've got the SH Figure Arts Flash. I think Batman's a little bit shorter than Cyborg. I think the authentic version is a little bit bigger still. So this figure is a little bit undersized. And I think he compares alright with Flash. But Flash is one of the smaller characters in the DCEU anyway. So I think that kind of works out. Next up, we've got more Batman. On the left there, we've got the Christian Bale Dark Knight Rises 3.0. I think Dark Knight Rises or the Dark Knight 3.0 Batman. And that Batman's still a little bit taller than our KO Batman here, which says a little bit. I think definitely Christian Bale should not be taller than Ben Affleck, and they're the same figure line. So this figure I think probably shrunk when they were recasting it, so it's a little bit smaller. And on the right we've got the Michael Keaton video game version 1989 Batman, and he's a NECA figure which is 7-inch scale, so obviously he's taller. So next up we've got two 7-inch Batman. We've got the McFarlane Batman on the right, which is absolutely like a head and a shoulder taller than Batman. And also the New 52 Batman from DC Direct on the left, which is also quite a bit taller. Next up we've got the Mattel Multiverse Kingdom Come Superman on the left, and the DC Essentials Red Hood on the right. So DC Essentials is a 7-inch figure. Mattel Multiverse I think is like a 6.5-inch figure, so they're both taller than Batman. So in conclusion, I think that this action figure is definitely worth the price of entry. I think for around 20 to 30 AUD and even cheaper in the US, it's a really good bargain in terms of what you get for this figure. You get a lot of accessories, a lot of hands, a lot of posability options. With that, you get a stand that's pretty alright. You get 2 additional head sculpts, so 3 head sculpts in total. You get fabric cape, and it's wired as well. I think even the Mezco version doesn't do that. and you get a lot of posability with this figure. Although the legs are a little bit lacking and not as posable as you'd wanted, still a sturdy figure. But I think the only letdowns here are the paint, the quality, and definitely this figure being really small. So if you don't really mind that, or if you're just using this guy to fill like a gap that you have in your shelf, I think it definitely does work. I'm definitely not encouraging people to support the knockoff market, but I think just because we already have this in the market, right? So with the price of entry and what it brings onto your table, I think it's definitely worth it. Just my opinion, but definitely do not buy Mezco or any knockoff action figures. Support the actual creators. But yeah, that's just the message I wanted to get out there, because I do review a few of these KO figures, but I think this figure is still worth it. So I hope this review helped you in any way, just to help you with the purchasing decision or anything that is to do with this figure. I hope that you had fun with this review, and I hope to see you next time.